The Democratic Alliance has never been committed to South Africa, but it is an extension of those that want to continue pursuing neo-colonization of South Africa, of Africa, and even undermining our own institutions. The ANC has actually set the record straight. I think what the DA has done is again an indication that it is a party that does not respect institutions of democracy, of human rights, multilateral platforms, as we have seen how they have gone out to go and invite an executive of the United States of America. Again, their commitment and loyalty to the West. Secondly, them undermining processes that have actually been tried and tested here in South Africa, the work of the IEC. Thirdly, it is also an indication that the Democratic Alliance is not committed towards ensuring that it will receive the outcome of the elections post the 29th of May when they've lost to being the ruling party, because that is not going to happen. We know what has happened in our neighboring countries. We know how some institutions and organizations come into developing nations and want to play a role of a super being. But this has actually made us to once more call on South Africans that the Democratic Alliance has never been committed to South Africa, but it is an extension of those that want to continue pursuing neo-colonization of South Africa, of Africa, and even undermining our own institutions by actually making a call for a government to come to South Africa when there are no threats. They sit in the multi-party forums, they participate, they know the rules. Where there are doubts, there are platforms to raise those doubts. We've seen it in other countries here in Africa, our own fraternal sister organizations here in Africa, where formations will be sponsored to call for regime change in the form of trying to cast doubts and aspersions on the electoral process. We've seen it in Zimbabwe. We've seen it where other formations came, occupied hotels in Zimbabwe, wanted to run parallel processes against a system that all Zimbabweans were supposed to adhere to. We have seen the mushrooming of foreign-funded formations and non-governmental organizations. Janet Love has just indicated we have more than 100 organizations that have been invited here. Our elections have been transparent, and therefore what we know is that there are others who had assumed that in 20 years' time post-democracy, the ANC will be gone. We are now 30 years into democracy. Our focus is around poverty, unemployment, and inequality. The agenda here is about regime change, weakening structures and institutions of democracy and public participation. And I dare say this is not surprising of the Democratic Alliance. We have seen them. They went to Ukraine, they never went to Russia. They're speaking more in defense of Israel. They're not talking about humanity and justice. Now they're talking about our elections being under threat. They are under threat from them who want to bring foreign tendencies against a system that has been tried and tested.